How you all, coaches, and welcome to my podcast, No Coaches, No Boxing. Again, I have an amazing guest, but let's wait after the music. And here we go. We are back in No Coaches, No Boxing, the podcast. Again, here we have an amazing, because I say amazing, I said it already in the first presentation, and there is a reason. You know that I never use words that they mean nothing. Amazing guest, as he's also, I guess it's your one of your nicknames because I saw you on social media. He's amazing Alex Arthur. Whoa, 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 whoa. And yes. But no, I will not tell you the country because you will understand it straight away after the first two words. Hi, Alex. You want to
Hi, Gabrielle. How are
you
you?
want to introduce yourself to us, amazing Alex Arthur. Yes, he's another
I,
super Scottish champ. Tell us a bit of
well,
something from you.
I would normally allow everyone else to call me Amazing Alex Arthur, but I never call myself this. Never, never. I was given this name after a performance when I was a younger boxer, and it stuck with me my whole career. And I always found it quite funny, so I never removed
That's
this.
amazing. I mean, I
Um,
think it's amazing.
well, of course, I had a pretty amazing career for someone like myself, where I come from. I was a very successful junior amateur boxer, and then I became a very successful senior amateur boxer. I boxed in the World Amateur Championships. I reached the quarterfinals on a number of occasions. I boxed against other World Amateur champions. Um, I had I think 146 amateur
Here we
fights.
go.
I
Amen.
won 133. Yeah, I thank you for the amen because I came away healthy.
Oh yes.
I won 133. I think I only lost 12 times, which is not too
And
bad. Um,
amazing again.
yeah, yeah. And I think around 80 or possibly more of these were international matches, so it's pretty good. Of course, it's not like some of there's better guys now. They have way more impressive records. But of course, then I went on to become a professional boxer and was very successful. I won the British title, the Commonwealth Championship, European and World Championship as well. So yeah, it was great. It was a
It
great
was
ride,
amazing. I
Gabrielle.
mean,
Praise God for this. Yeah,
that's why they give it to
yeah.
you. Amazing, and I have nothing to say. Amazing career. And now
Thank you,
also,
brother.
I know that you are an amazing coach, and you also have your kids boxing at a super high level.
Yeah.
And tell me about that.
So I really did not want my sons to box. I really never. I have three sons. I would like a lawyer. I would like a counsellor and a doctor. This is what I would like.
That was the plan. That was the plan.
That was the plan, and I don't want the boxers. I box mainly because I don't come from a very good background. My father was, let's say, not so well behaved many years ago, um, and my father found himself in prison for a long time when I was a young guy. So I had to use something positive, and when it's very, very strange the way that this happened because the friend who I was always, my father was boxing fan, huge boxing fan, and he knew the sport very well. And I always would say to my father, I want to go to the box. I want to go to the box and please let me box. No, 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 you're going to get education. We left the bad area for you to go to the good school. You can learn. I was very good at football and soccer. I was a good soccer player. My father, please stay at soccer and learn and get the good education. Me personally, I'm not very academic. My father was a very clever guy as well. He never used his intelligence correctly, though. You know, Where he came from, you don't use intelligence in life. You become a criminal, or you work with the tools.
Yes.
You work with the. That's where you come. That's where he came from. So this was sad. So when my father went to prison, I met a young man who lived in the local housing estate, a pretty rough housing estate. And he had just moved to this housing estate, and he was part of a famous boxing club called
Mm.
Sparta, which was the boxing club of Ken Buchanan, the famous Ken Buchanan from Scotland, the great Scottish boxer. And he told me, I go to the boxing club. And I said, no way. His father had a car. He said, yeah, I go on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. And on the other days, we work out on our own. I was 10 years old, 11 years old. And he said to me, I can take you. And I said, what about tonight? He said, no, tonight we're going to church.
Hmm.
And I said, you're going to church? And he said, yeah, we're born again
All
Christians.
right.
And I said, wow. And he said, so this is the deal, Alex. You have to come with me to the church. He said, and then tomorrow we'll go to the boxing. And I said, yeah, okay. I said, I can do that. I can go to the church. So we went to the church, and I was captured by everything that was going on in the church. Sorry, Gab, that's the police. They're coming
It's
for
okay.
me
It's
now for
okay. I mean,
speeding back
we're
from the training
the
session. I knew they would catch me eventually.
and then let's
And
stop
then,
right there. Stop right there because I want to take this just to jump in, and then we continue. Don't just hold on. Don't forget where you are right
no, I
now.
won't. I won't.
I just for all the coaches that are listening to us, I would just clarify again one small thing, which is a detail which can make a difference when you are an international coach driving your team to a championships. So there is something called time zone. Amazing, like Arthur, amazing, like Alex Arthur. And this time zone works pretty fine, you just check the time zone where you are supposed to operate, and then you know what time will be for you to be ready, or for the fight, and blah. I remember that I also explained this time zone thing, let's call it like this, during the IBA one star coach course that
Yep.
I don't know if we'll appear there or there when we do the editing. Well, the coach
You were
here
correct.
was a student, and I remember that also there he arrived pretty late, and then that's why I wanted to explain it, double during the course to make sure that they were, get it. Yesterday we set up. This is very nice because this is the real truth of no coaches, no boxing. Yesterday we settled, all the things. Yeah, so Alex, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, Gab, no problem, no problem. So I'll see you 11 CET. It's not that I just didn't mention it, and I knew that this was going to happen. In fact, listen to these coaches. I when was 10 CET, so my time, I sent a reminder, I will see you in an hour. What the coach here did, he answered me after 1 hour, said, yes, of course, I'll see you in an hour. But like this would be 2 hours. What can I say? No coaches,
I'm so
no
sorry,
boxing.
Gab.
No, it's okay. But this is a funny episode, but that we can use it, just to remind to all the coaches, hey coaches, time zone, it's real. I mean, it is real. I've been here 1 hour in front of the computer, all set up, which I couldn't move because otherwise I had to.
You couldn't move. This was the funny
Yeah,
part. This
because
was the funny part. Alex, I can't move. I can't move. You have to come
yeah,
fast.
because otherwise I had to replace the camera, and also the phone. Now it's connected as a main camera, so I couldn't use also the phone and go around somewhere else. It's amazing. Anyway, coaches,
I'm
remember.
so
I
sorry.
know. Don't worry. Of course, we are here to have fun today. But time zone, we use this because through our podcast, No Coaches, No Boxing, we also give education tips, ideas, strategies, and all the experience coming from all the coaches all over the world. So time zone, it is really very important because today we're just having fun, nothing happened. But if we're moving, we're traveling
Yeah,
outside
very
our
true.
country, and we are entering another time zone, if we don't understand and we take care of it, we might be late and then get disqualified in important tournaments. So this is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
important.
yeah,
We can turn something funny
very.
in something educational for you all. As a reminder, we discussed during the courses, and we will continue to do that. But now let's take it from where we left. Go.
Yes. So brilliant, Gab. I love how you always have to get these important matters across to the listeners. I love how you do this. It's genius. You're genius on here.
Thank you very
So
much.
so we found the church. We found the church, or I found the church, and I found the Lord from a very young age, and um, and boxing at exactly the same time. So I knew that something there was a plan here. This plan was not my plan. So even at this very young age, I understood this quite well, and and I knew that something was happening. So I made the decision. I'm going to really 100% focus on the boxing, and I'm going to continue going to the church. Um, my father was gone, so I had younger brothers, and I was the oldest brother, so I had to be the role model for the
Of
family as
course.
well. Yeah, so I had this you know this responsibility from the young age, and so I made the choice to stay focused entirely on the boxing. I wanted to improve. I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn so much from the coaches. I must have annoyed the coaches so much. I asked them so many questions, and I practiced every day. And then, within a few years, my friend, he actually stopped boxing, but of course, I continued to box, and this is how the story started.
But
Yeah,
when a student is, like you said, annoying with, but I don't feel it as annoying, because that's when someone really wants to learn. And I
yeah,
find it really, that's what push you as a coach, as a teacher, to teach.
yeah,
Because we teach for those people that are thirsty and hungry of knowledge, and there
yeah,
is nothing
yes,
more, let's say, exciting when they are
yeah,
looking for you, they are coming after you. Hey coach, what about this, what about this, I can do this, I can do that. That's why it's why we are there. It's the why. So when
yeah,
we ask
of
why
course.
I'm doing this, bam, is someone like you. And I was the same. I was the same. For me,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to sleep in the gym.
You want to
Yes,
learn. You want to
I,
learn.
I I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
begging my coach at the time when I was a kid, was in karate. So my sensei, I was begging to clean the gym, to spend more time in the, just to be the gym, to be the
wow,
place.
wow. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I find, this is the best part, being, as you just mentioned that
yeah,
you were. That's why they called, amazing Alex Arthur. So that's, it's very clear to me.
yeah,
Because when
yeah,
you have that dedication, that understanding, and that commitment, that dream.
yeah,
Because see, I think
yeah. The
Alex,
dream.
I
Yeah,
think it's about the dream. I truly, I remember that I was going asleep, looking forward to wake up and start training. So this was,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. It was never the problem for me. I remember I come from old-fashioned boxing coaches. They were 1950s pros, 1960s pros. My coach back then at the Sparta, he was a sparring partner for Bob Scally. His name was Bob Scally. He was sparring partner for Tommy Farr, who was fighting Joe
Wow.
Lewis for the heavyweight
Wow.
title. He was sparring partner for him. So when I learnt this, the questions I wanted to learn, I asked so many questions. And then sadly, back then, there was a fire in the club, and they had to close the club, and my heart was broken. I was like, what's going to happen now? But this was just before I started to box competitively. And then they told me, just 300 yards down the street, there is the Leith Victoria, the famous amateur boxing club, the oldest boxing club in Scotland, the oldest club in history here, and possibly the most successful amateur boxing club ever in
And
Scotland
Alex,
as well.
let's hold on a moment on the feeling that you had when the boxing club was closed, and you said your
Yeah,
yes, you know, and I think that we could say that because it's where we find our second home, isn't it?
yeah, very much. Yeah,
This is why
very
I
much.
wanted to spend time there, cleaning, all also, anything to be there, to be part of those walls, which were for me everything. And I think now, listening to what you just said, heartbroken because of the closing of the gym, and that I think that we should mention, explain a bit more there, because for the coaches, for the boxers that are listening to us, this is important also for the people that are not in the box, understanding why we're so
Yeah,
close,
yeah, of course. Well, you're going to experience many tests and many challenges. And once you understand why these tests and why these challenges are coming your way, if you believe like I believe and like you believe, we understand that these are designed to prepare us for the future. They're designed to make us stronger inside and stronger outside. So this was my first major test in the boxing when I thought that there was no other way that they were going to shut the club. They were saying 5 months, possibly 6 months, due to the damage. At this point, I was like, why, God, why is this happening? Just when I find the reason that I feel like I have so much to do, this is now it's over. But then when someone else told me about the Leith Victoria, I went straight there, and almost straight away, I became part of the club. They were so accepting to me. I wasn't registered to box yet. I was just training to become the age to box. So when I went to Leith Victoria, I was just becoming 12 years
yeah.
old, and then I was signed to the club, and then that's where I boxed my whole amateur career for the Leith Victoria club. Yeah,
That was just
so it
yeah.
was it was
It
amazing.
was a
Yeah, it was supposed to be
it
this
was a
way.
sign, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Sometimes we are, as you are talking about, of course, being Christian, and especially, I have to say, you've been a Christian athlete since the very beginning, because these two things
yeah,
were boxing and finding Jesus, and find your Christianity. They started together, and this is very
yeah.
amazing for those people that they trust in God, they have faith, and they, follow the step that they try, of course, to follow the steps that Jesus left to us. And this is very encouraging to see how an athlete that just started the whole career, how developed together with the faith, and now being a coach, a Christian coach, with kids that are amazing boxers, but also amazing Christians. That I see the
Yes,
word
it's
amazing, when we speak about your life, cannot stay far from you. Ah, incredible.
yeah, it's crazy the way that when you think about all of it together, and it's not the end yet. You know, sometimes when I look over everything, I think, wow, this was how can this all have happened like this? This is amazing, but the story is far from over. Like you say, my sons are they're now continuing with the story, so the story continues. Everything keeps moving forward. Yeah, it's
And that's
amazing.
the proof when we truly did something right, because because if it lasts, and it lasts, and it continues all through the
Yeah,
new generations,
yeah.
meaning that you did something great, something amazing. Let me choose a word.
It's never far away.
Yeah. So, what would we recommend to our coaches today to, let's say, to be better coaches? Because we, as coaches, we have a lot of challenges. We know, we discuss
Oh, so
also
many.
during the courses that, as most of the time, we don't get the respect, the attention that we deserve. People truly see us as the last, when, as I mention also, as I named also the podcast, no coaches, no boxing, meaning that the
No boxing. Yeah.
coaches are the most important in any room, because they are the only ones that know boxing for real. So what would you say to all our coaches, our colleagues?
Well, the first thing I would say is that we have to understand that we have so many roles,
Here we
Gab. We
go.
have so many roles, yeah. And this is the big difference between the coaches and everyone else. I think this is what separates the boxing coach from the team manager, from the sports federation, from the boxers, even from everyone else. We have more roles than everyone, and we have to make sure that we are a good enough example that all the roles that we play them
Yeah.
perfectly. We have to, because if we fail in one role, the other roles are not going to be successful, I believe. So, we have to be like the pastor, we have to be the nutritionist, we have to be the disciplinarian, the guy who says, no, you have to run more today, or no, you have to run less today. Um, you can't eat this amount of food. No, yeah, you can eat this amount of food. We have so many different roles to play as coaches, so many important. There's way more than this as well. We have to also understand the psychology of our boxer, how they think. Then we have to apply our style to them so they understand us. What if we have 10 different personalities? We have to change all the time.
Yeah.
Me and you, we have to change the personality every
And that's
time.
what
So,
we called also individualization, because this is also the
yeah,
greatness of a
of
coach,
course.
because sometimes I see coaches that they just use the same way with everybody, but no, that's wrong,
Yeah.
because
No,
everybody is
it's wrong.
different. Everybody has,
Yes.
skills. They are tend to be in a way, instead of another. So the smartness of a coach is understanding, first of all, for the first instance, that everyone is different. So they need a
Yes.
different kind of approach. An example: I
Of course.
am the kind of athlete, when you scream to me, "Come on, you have to do it." Yes, I will get excited. I will
Yeah.
get charged by it. But maybe some other athletes, I notice when I move as a coach, if I have this kind of approach, they might be, no,
Yeah, they go inside
yes. So
themselves.
you need to
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
different kind of approach, like, hey, don't worry, or so we do like this, so more calm, because they need that. So it's not important. Whatever it works, we need to just use it, because it's individualizations. The work must be individualized, the approach, the way we talk,
100%.
also in
Yeah.
the corner. When we are in the corner, I remember I had in boxing, when I was amateur, I had this coach that he was really the best one ever I had in my corner. But I don't know why he was this way with me only, because I saw how
Wow.
he was. He was feeling really the pressure when all the athletes were going into the ring. He was moving fast, blah, blah, blah. He was really stressed, and he was sharing this stress with all the.
Mm.
But he was a champion also. He had very, very, very huge knowledge. But with me, he was perfect, really.
Wow.
And I had a lot of coaches
Wow.
that they were the opposite.
Yeah.
For me, with me, he was unbelievable. He was
Wow.
calm. He was giving me always, don't worry, all good.
Correct advice, everything.
So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was really something that I noticed, but I don't know if he ever also noticed that. But with me, it was perfect. So
Wow.
sometimes there is this chemistry between coach and fighter and boxer or athlete. We call
Yes.
it as we please. When there is this chemistry, I think nothing can stop you.
Can break this. Yeah, nothing can stop it. No, and I believe as well that this is where I think it's really important that the coaches from the grassroots level, from the very start, who bring through the young champions to the Europeans, to the World Amateur Championships. I believe that they should still have a part to play, because it's really important to the boxer's performance overall. I feel if I remember on a few occasions I was very fortunate to have great coaches when I was growing up. And when you feel like you're put into another position where you don't really know the coach and you have to box for, let's say, another federation, or you have to box for your country and you're not familiar with the coach, they're not familiar with you or the style, it leaves you feeling a little bit insecure. Even though you know that you're capable, you still feel, without you and the coach's special connection, something leaves, something, and you feel more alone. And the ring is not a nice place to feel alone.
No, but also at the end of the day, you are alone. So
Yes,
you
you
are
are alone.
not really
Well,
alone.
well,
You have your friend
not
there.
really
Your
alone.
friend there.
Yeah,
No, I'm not talking now about the fate. It's just in a funny way. You are
yeah,
not alone. You have a friend, big friend in
yeah,
front of you that can't wait to stay closer to you and to give you a lot of hugs.
yeah, yeah. This friend,
My
yeah, that's
friend,
that friend.
come here. Bah, bah, bah. I love you. Why are you running away? Come here. I want to show you my love. Bah, bah, bah.
After the match, always you can
Exactly.
see with almost 100 boxing matches, 99 boxing matches will finish with the
Yes,
boxer
yes,
hugging
100%.
and say, "Congratulations,
Yes.
you had a great match today." This is one of the really special things
Yeah.
about boxing
Yeah.
that we know. The respect for the opponent is massive when the match is over.
Absolutely. One thing we have to say regarding what you just mentioned, all the national teams, they are, meant to be in a certain way, and this is in all the sports, not only in boxing. I've been in national teams also in different sports, fighting sports, and the experience was always the same. So my coach wasn't in the national team, and so I was prepared to go there. And
Yeah.
what I've learned, this is what I also do with my students. They must be prepared to work with anybody, because if this
Yes.
is the pathway to make them great and win certain championships until you are not there as a coach, but that doesn't have to be a must, because sometimes we are not in the national team, but we need to prepare our boxers to be
Our boxers
ready
for this.
to
Yeah.
work with anybody. Because if they are
Yes.
what I think, and this I've learned through mistakes, through disappointment, you know um, I have learned that if a boxer is good and we as coaches are great, so we can prepare them to work with anybody, like like it's
Anyway.
just a
Yeah.
character of a PlayStation. Do they blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
blah. Then of course, there is some chemistry that can be more or less, but this is in everything in life. Also the opponent can be a good chemistry, meaning that the way they fight will make us look even better,
Well, yeah.
isn't it?
Yes. Of
Because
course.
it's a
Yeah.
perfect
Yeah.
match for who we are.
Yeah.
Or
Styles make fights.
or
Yeah.
regardless our level, how prepared we are, but that fighting style will just ruin our way. We will suffer it.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
will feel, uncomfortable, and we will have a bad fight. So this is,
But
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
all this.
Yeah. It's the same as it all comes
Yeah,
together, and I think that the very good point you made there, Gab, was that the boxer or the athlete has to be prepared for anything, for any circumstance, to work with anyone. Like I told you before, on one occasion I was very fortunate because Scott Dixon, who I was very close with when we
Scotty.
were when we were children, yeah, he's a legend, man, and his grandfather was
Yes, Toby,
amazing
Toby,
coach. He was
Toby Dixon.
amazing, and on one occasion, I believe we were boxing against England, and we were in England, and Toby was going to be part of the national setup for this trip. And he was in my corner on this occasion, and he was fantastic. It was like he was my coach for 10 years. Maybe because I had the good relationship with Scott. His grandfather was softly spoken. He was very boxing knowledgeable, and he knew how to come across to you in a way that you could express yourself so you were going to be your best. And he was like the guy that you spoke to me about. He was calm, and he was like nothing was like no one was there, just you and him.
Yeah.
And he explained to me, Alex, this is what you have to do now to be successful, okay? this is the tactic I'm going to give you. And it was like the whole place was quiet. No one was there, just me and him. And I never worked with him in my life. By this point, I think I maybe had 30, 40 amateur bouts. And this was the first occasion. And that, like this, he adapted, I adapted.
I
We
saw
make
him
the adaptation.
before
Yeah,
before he passed away. He was coming sometimes to Malta to visit Scott, and also his daughter, which is Scott's mother. And I saw he
yeah.
was training until really all the time that I saw him,
Wow,
he was in the gym, bam, 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 working the bags. So it was really
wow,
a force of
wow.
nature, really, yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing
we
guy. He
I
really
had
was.
I had the pleasure also to have him once in my corner, because
Wow,
when I was
wow,
training together with Scott, we were fighting both. And he was in my corner, Scott, of course, as the first coach, and then I
wow.
was in his corner together with another coach.
Yeah,
And then was his grandfather was there, for us. Yes.
crazy.
So
So he coached us both.
I
This
didn't
is amazing.
in that time, was
Well,
Scott.
in the
Scott, he
corner,
was,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
was in the corner
yeah,
as
yeah,
as
yeah.
as to help, but
As the
was
head.
there, was
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And
Wow.
I truly, I'm very happy, that I had this opportunity, also because it was important for Scott. This is the main thing
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah,
for me
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
important,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he truly had an amazing relationship with him.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. It
Yes,
really
yes.
was
And that's why
amazing.
he's
Yeah,
a
they
legend. I
were
mean,
so
he's a
close.
legend. He's a boxing legend.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. For sure, for sure. Both of them are
Yes,
really
yes,
in
yes, yes, yes,
Scotland. They
yes.
both are.
But it's has to be like that, because what they
Yeah,
did, it's incredible, incredible. And
it's
as I said
amazing,
in my
amazing.
previous episode, which I had Scott here, and I told it, one of the best time I ever had in boxing, it was with Scott in my corner. Yeah, yeah.
That's
The, the,
amazing,
the worst
amazing.
the
Yeah.
worst that we did in that ring.
Oh,
So, there's
yeah.
never. I was all the time. So yeah, 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 yeah. Now it's coming. Let's do sparring. Really? And we had like 10, 12 rounds 3 times a week.
Oh,
Yeah,
gee, man. This is Scott. He's crazy like this.
yeah.
I remember once we had to maybe lose one or two pounds, like 1 kilogram, to make the weight for one of the matches on the national junior team. And I remember he wanted to go and run around the whole city that we were in. Let's go run, Alex. I said, no, we just need to go and skip real light and maybe 1 or 2 rounds shadow boxing. We go to bed, we wake up. Nah. Let's run. There's a run we can go round the city. It's only 7 miles. I said, no,
He loves to run.
tomorrow we box. He's
See,
crazy,
but
man.
as far as I know, he loves to run. Not a lot. He doesn't
Yeah,
like a lot the skipping rope. He skipped the rope in amazing way. I saw him, but I think he truly
yeah,
love running, because I was
yeah.
saying,
He
yeah,
loved to
yeah,
run.
running everywhere.
Yeah, he wanted to run. He wanted to run around the whole city
Yeah.
that we were in. I said, no, let's maybe 15 minutes of the skipping, maybe 2 rounds of the shadow boxing. The weight will be gone. We can have maybe some light fruit, and we can go to bed tomorrow. We will be close to the weight, no problem, easy. No, there's this run, Alex, and if you go from here, you can go right round. It's only 7 miles, 8 miles. I said, no, Scott, I'm not doing tomorrow we box, so you can't. It won't make any difference. It won't make. I said, yeah, the legs will be tired. We'll be exhausted. Tomorrow we need to be strong. No. He was crazy, man. It's crazy.
But also, when you are, let's say, used to do certain things on you,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't hurt you at all. They just
they
switch
don't.
on the brain, but I mean,
Yeah,
fight mode. But if you didn't do
yeah,
it, of course, that's absolutely to avoid, because this will work in a negative way in your mind, because you will start saying, no, 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 and then
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
convince yourself that this is wrong. And so 100%,
Yep,
I can say
yep.
100% it's gonna work wrong.
Yes, yes, because again of the
Yes,
individuality, every
yes,
boxer is
yes,
different,
yes.
and this is the problem for the coach, is that they have to understand and separate every boxer that they have, and they have to understand the way that all of them work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's a big job. It's a
I
huge job.
remember I had some teammates, and this will make you laugh. I had teammates, hey guys, take care, don't drink this, don't drink that, water, stay clean. Then I had another one, no, you don't drink water, keep the beer. Because he was like this. He was drinking beer before bed. I mean, but when he was there, he was working. So if we were trying to change him, I knew that this was going to be bad. So I
Yeah,
said,
it was going to be wrong. Yeah, it
no
was.
problem. But why you are saying to him, look, you are not him. I was saying like this. He is him. He is like this.
Yeah, he's him.
He's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
different. So
yeah.
because if I drink something like this, then I go really really.
Oh
I can't.
no,
I
no,
can't.
no,
I can't.
no.
Like also because my mentality is, I need this, I need that, blah blah blah. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
him, I said, no problem. Go this way. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Have a beer.
yeah, yeah. Do what you have to do. Yeah, do what you have
Have
to do.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes you feel better.
If it's going to make you feel better and you're going to be better
I
for the
mean,
boxer, then you go. Then you go.
if we're
Yeah,
winning, well, we always say you don't
yeah.
change what it's working.
Yeah, and then you see so many, Gabriel, don't you? You've probably seen this. Of course, you'll have seen this so many times. You see so many different styles, different methods when you start to go
Yeah.
international, and you watch the way that Ukraine they do something, the way that Cuba do something, the way America do something, the way that the UK do something. Everyone does different
Yeah.
things because of their tradition and where they come from, different parts of the world. Um, so once you see all of these things, I don't believe there's any harm in trying to see if they maybe work for you. You
Yes.
can
Yes.
test
Yes.
them. You can test them. You understand if it doesn't feel correct, then you're not going to do it anyway. But there's no harm in trying to learn from each and every different
Absolutely.
place.
Absolutely.
I found myself doing this even when I was traveling alone with my coach. I would find that, on one occasion, I have a great story. On one occasion, I was boxing in the Goodwill Games in New
All
York
right.
City in 1998, and it was invitational.
Okay.
So at the time, you had to be in the top 12 in the
Wow.
world to be invited to the competition.
That's another
Sadly for yeah,
amazing achievement.
sadly for me, in the UK, I was the only top 12 in the world at this
Mm.
time. So I was the only one. So I went myself for Team GB, just alone. Not for Scotland, for GB. So the very famous, very rich American owner of the TV station, Ted Turner, he owned
Okay.
like Fox
Yeah.
TV, very rich. He, because of he had a he was upset when the in 1980 with Moscow Olympics, 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. He was sad that countries were withdrawing and stuff. So I think they start the Goodwill Games for
Yeah.
goodwill, so countries, that had problems with each other could still compete in sport. He wanted to show that
Amazing.
sport can change the world, and it can. And so he invite every boxer in the world. He paid for everyone to stay in the Marriott Hotel in Broadway. We boxed in Madison Square
Wow.
Garden. He hired Madison Square
Wow.
Garden. He gave all the boxers a fee to compete, but I was there alone with my Scottish coach, with my national coach Tom Brown, very famous coach. Scott has worked with him many times as well. Toby as well, great guy. And I got to take my Scottish coach with me, not the GB coach. I made official complaint
Yeah.
about this. I want to take the Scottish coach. So this was fine. They allowed this to happen, but some of my friends from Ireland were in the top 12 in the world, so they were there also. So they were my friends when I was there. I joined with the Irish team. My friends from Ireland were competing there also. And on one of the evenings, they had a makeshift gym in a huge hotel suite. So they empty the suite, no chairs, no nothing. They put the small fake boxing ring in there, and they hang some punch bags. The very rich guy, he fixed it into a small boxing gym, so that the boxers didn't have to go to boxing gyms around the city.
Stay there.
So yeah, everyone had the slot. We all had the slot. So Great Britain was 6 o'clock, Cuba was 7 o'clock, America was 8 o'clock, Russia was 9 o'clock. Everyone had the slot to work out. So because I was there alone, my slot was mixed up because I was on the same floor as the Cuban team. So my slot was mixed up. So when I arrived to work out with my coach, I walked into the room and only the Cuban team was there,
Yeah.
just Cuba. I said, so, but Pedro Diaz, he recognized me. Alex, how are you? I said, oh, hi, Pedro, how are you? I said, I'm sorry. I said, I believe my slot is to train now. He said, no, 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 I think you see, look. And he said, oh, there's some confusion. Maybe we are 1/2 hour early. He said, so if you want, I speak to, you remember Zagara Carrion, really famous
Don't
Cuban
tell,
coach.
don't tell,
Yeah, he
don't tell
was.
me that you messed up the time zone even there.
No, I was early. I was
You see,
early for the
you
first
see,
time in my
but
life.
still
I
not,
was
still
early.
not the right time.
Yes, still not the right time. I was 1/2 hour early. I was early. So I remember my coach Tom Brown saying, "Let's get prepared. Let's be there early. When the other team comes out, we go." So we went there, and the Cuban team were still training. And very kindly, they invite me in to train with them. It was back then you couldn't really train with the
Yes,
Cuban
yes, I
team.
did.
You know, it was private. And another very strange, not to become too political or to there was agents outside the gym, like FBI
Mm-hmm.
agent, because they were watching for to see if any of the Cubans were going to
Yes,
leave,
yes, yes.
and
Of
stay in
course.
America. So the agents were there, and it was crazy. And I was there alone. So the Cuban team, rather than cause any problem, they said to me, Alex, come and join us for the
I
for the
think the
workout. I
agents,
was no
I think the
way.
agents, Alex, were there for you. You just said it. You were there alone in between the whole Cuban team. And if I was an agent, I would say, who's this guy? Because
And
with your accent, you couldn't even hide, not even in 100 years. Who's this guy? Why is here? Hmm. Let me.
also I had
There we
Scotland
go.
across my top, and the tracksuit I had was the blue was the Scottish flag was through the Scotland sign, so they all knew, everyone
Yes.
knew. But of course,
CIA,
the Cubans, they knew.
CIA,
Yeah,
FBI, or
CIA, FBI,
the
everyone,
army.
everyone.
Who's this Alex Arthur?
So when I arrived there, they told me, they knew me from the World Championships the year previous in Budapest. I had really successful World Amateur Championships. I defeat three opponents in the World Amateur Championships in Budapest, and I never won the medal
Ah,
because Istvan. Yeah, it was sad. Istvan
yeah,
Kovacs was his last amateur competition. Coco's my
yes.
friend. We became friends many years later, and because Coco was having one more competition in the amateur before he turned professional, they allowed more entries
Okay.
to go at the weight. Yeah, and in my last contest, I snapped my pinky.
Mm.
My tendon came
Yeah.
off the bone. I was boxing against Czechoslovakia. I was the Czech
The
Republic.
same here.
Was
Look,
constant.
see, I never did. I
Yeah,
never did the
really.
operation, so
Oh,
it just stays like
really? You never done the
no,
open? No, I never
no,
done it
no,
either. And they wanted to give me the operation in Budapest. I was like, no, no,
no
no, I'm
way,
going home to
no
Scotland.
way.
No way,
Thank
no
you.
way. The guy had the mask on, the needle. I was like, no, 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 no,
You
no.
know about wait, wait,
So,
wait. Something like this happened to me in Bratislava in 2006. I was fighting, and that was in a European Karate Championships. So I was beating my opponent. Then the referee stopped. The moment he stops, you need to stop there. So I stopped, and bam! He came after me with a big right hand in my eye. So from that moment, I couldn't see nothing. So
jeez,
we finished the fight with my coach. It was like driving me like playing with me like PlayStation. Go to the left, move to the right. We finished. We won the fight, but then they had to send me to the hospital. I went through three
jeez.
hours this Bratislava hospital.
Oh,
Then they put
oh,
that was something that I
oh.
didn't forget.
Yeah, it's quite scary at the time as
Yes,
well.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
so this happened in, I think, round two, when so I tried to throw left hook to the body, and my opponent, he put his elbow like this, and my pinky, just the tendon snapped off the bone. So the pinky was flopping around in the glove like this, you know. So I continue with the contest, and I won the contest on points. So in my next bout, I was boxing against Cuba.
Uh-huh.
I was my next bout. So at this point in time, there was an English writer there, and he was writing a book about Cuban boxing. And he recognised that I was friends with one of the Cuban boxers, Micro Romero, who was Olympic flyweight champion in Atlanta. And he acted as a interpreter because he could speak Cuban, so, or Spanish, but Cuban Spanish. And we would go to the market through the day. I was with my friend from Cuba, and we were going around the shops and stuff. And John Duncan, who wrote the book A Journey into Cuban Boxing, I am in the book because of the World Championships.
Amazing.
Because yeah, I tried to do a deal for my friend, so he could take the tire for the car back to Cuba. I was trying to do the deal with the guy in the market in Budapest. and it was so funny, the story. So the Cuban team, they knew me quite well, and they told me, one of my friends there from Cuba told me they were very worried about boxing me and for the position for the medal because of my style. It wasn't going to work with the Cuban boxers. They felt I was going to beat the Cuban boxer. He wasn't very strong. He was a good boxer. His name was Rudy Nelson Hardy, and I feel when I watched him box, I was like, I can beat this
Yeah.
guy, no problem. And I'd already had 3 very good wins. So when they took off the glove, Gab, the doctor was there, ringside doctor. My pinky was
Yeah.
just flopping around. They said, hospital now.
Straight
You
away.
need to go hospital. No, no, no. Just put the tape on the finger. Tomorrow I box for the medal for my country. I need
But they
to be
didn't
ready
let you.
tomorrow. No, no, no.
I know,
Yeah, no,
I
they
know.
never
Of
let me.
course, of
No,
course.
they never let me.
But
But again, for the protection of the boxer,
of course,
again.
one thing, and then we can also close our first episode together. What you said about this competition, that was a goodwill, that very interesting, because an interesting is interesting me right now in the movement of no coaches no boxing. What you were saying, that they did this to unite countries.
Yes.
And I think,
Yes.
and this is something also, something that I'm preparing for the next Congress of Europe. We are sport, we are not
Yeah.
politics. We have sport
No.
politics, which completely different
Yeah.
thing. We are the sport. The sport
Yeah.
teaches how to be united. Sport,
We are the core of the sport. We are the
sport
core.
help people understand what means team, what means
Yeah.
fair play.
Unity.
Yes, unity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we cannot let other things come inside and
No. No.
then create wars in the inside, because if
No.
sport
No.
finishes, I think the human being will be over very quickly,
Yeah.
because
Very
here is
quickly.
where we have, all the principles, where some things that you would like to have in life still alive. The respect, having a
Yeah.
fight, and then at the end
Yes.
just hugging each other, respect, because we
Yeah, of
know what
course.
we went through. you
Yeah, yeah,
know
of course, yeah, yeah. And you have to be there to
exactly.
understand. You have to really be in the middle of this. You have been there, Gabriel. I have been there. We know what it means to have been in this
Yes.
position. And the credit here I must give to the Cuban team, because they invite at this time. It was critical time, and this was an uncomfortable situation for everyone then, especially with this competition. The Cuban team, they invite me into the door. They close the door. The FBI are outside. Alex,
To
today you
protect
train
you.
with us. Yeah, to protect me,
from
for me to
the
protect
FBI.
them.
They'll protect you.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, all
And
right.
everyone was there.
So
Felix Savon and so many great boxers, and they allowed me to work out with them. It was
super.
amazing.
So let's give this message to everybody, and then we close our show for today. So boxing, as any other sport, is unification. We don't promote being not united. We are boxing. We are life. We are
We are
unification.
inclusive.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Alex,
yeah.
thank you very much for being here as a second guest, another Scottish guest, an amazing Alex Arthur, and he proved himself. He is for real an amazing athlete, an amazing coach, and I'm sure an amazing father. I really thank you so much for being here again. And what you want to say is the last words to say goodbye to our listeners?
Just stay disciplined, boxers and coaches. Live a good life and always stay focused. Focus on the goal. And again, be inclusive, be united. Everyone stay together and be
Thank you
strong.
very much. And as always, boom! Nailed it.